You know, there are friendships on TV that feel real, and then there are the ones that actually were. One of the most special bonds I've ever seen wasn't between brothers or father and son. It was between Michael Landon and Victor French. To us, they were Charles Ingalls and Mr. Edwards. Two strong men standing side by side in Walnut Grove through blizzards, heartbreak, and every kind of storm life could throw at them. But off-screen, their friendship was even deeper than what we saw. And I don't say that lightly, because when you watch them together, the way they look at each other, the way one can just be there for the other without saying a word, it's not acting. It's something rarer. It's real. Let me tell you about them. Victor French wasn't young when he joined Little House on the Prairie. He was in his 40s, tall, deep-voiced with kind eyes and a presence that didn't need to shout to be felt. He first showed up in Season 2 as Isaiah Edwards, the blacksmith. At first, just a guest role, but Michael Landon saw something in him, not just talent, but character. So he brought him back, and again, until Mr. Edwards wasn't just a neighbor. He was family. But here's something most people don't know: they'd already met years before. Back on Bonanza, when Landon was Little Joe, Victor guest starred and even played Landon's father in one episode, which is funny because Victor was only 8 years older. But more than that, they connected as men, not as stars. Both had tough pasts. Both knew what it was like to work hard, to struggle, to keep going when no one believed in them. So when Landon created Little House, he didn't just think, Victor would be good in this. He thought, I want my friend by my side. And that's why Mr. Edwards felt different. He wasn't just another character. He was the one Charles trusted most. The one he didn't have to explain himself to. The one who could stand beside him in silence and still say everything. And that wasn't just writing. That was life. Watch any scene between them. Charles and Isaiah working on a fence. Sitting on the porch. Walking into town. There's no big speeches. No dramatic music. But you feel it. A quiet loyalty. Like they've got each other's backs, no matter what. And fans felt that. I've talked to people who said, I wanted a friend like Mr. Edwards. Not because he was flashy, but because he was there. And so was Victor. For Michael, in a way few people were, because Michael Landon wasn't easy. He was passionate, driven, a perfectionist. And yes, he could be tough on set. But Victor, he didn't flatter him. He didn't say yes just to get along. He'd look him in the eye and say, Mike, that's not right. And do you know what's beautiful? Michael respected him for it. Melissa Gilbert once told me. Well, not me, personally, but in an interview, she said, if anyone could calm Michael down, it was Victor. He didn't fear him. He loved him. And that says it all. In Hollywood, everyone wants to be around the star. But Victor wasn't impressed by the fame. He cared about the man, and that's rare. So when Michael left Little House and created Highway to Heaven, he didn't just cast Victor. He made him his equal. Jonathan Smith and Mark Gordon weren't boss and sidekick. They were partners. Best friends. Brothers. And that show? It wasn't just a new series. It was a love letter to their friendship. You can see it in the way they walk together, the way they laugh, the way Mark looks at Jonathan when he's about to do something brave. Not with envy, but pride. Like, I know you, I believe in you. And again, that wasn't acting, that was life. But then came the hard part. In 1985, Victor was diagnosed with lung cancer, and it moved fast. Michael was heartbroken. He visited him all the time, talked to him, sat with him, and when Victor had to leave Highway to Heaven, Michael didn't write him out with a dramatic exit. He gave him peace. In the Season 2 finale, Mark Gordon dies, quietly, in a hospital bed. Surrounded by love, and Jonathan says, "You were the best friend I ever had." Those weren't just lines. They were a goodbye, a real one. And when Victor passed away on September 10th, 1989, at just 54 years old, Michael didn't hide his grief. At the funeral, he cried, and later he said, "I lost more than a friend. I lost a brother." And I believe that, because Victor was one of the few people who saw the real Michael. Not the Charles Ingalls the world loved, not the star, but the man, with fears, regrets, and a deep need for loyalty. And Victor gave him that. Without condition, without ego, just love. Now, here's a moment that still gives me chills. In 1991, Michael was on Larry King Live near the end of his own life, battling cancer. He looked weak, but his heart was strong, and when Larry asked, "Who shaped your life?" Katie didn't talk about producers or awards or big names. He said Victor French. He was the truest friend I ever had. And his voice broke, just for a second, but it was enough, because in that moment, we saw it, the depth of that bond, not built on fame, not on scripts, but on real life. And that's what made it so powerful, because in a world full of fake smiles and temporary connections, Michael and Victor had something rare. They had brotherhood. They didn't need to say, "I love you," every day. They didn't hug on camera, but you could feel it in every look, every quiet moment. Every time Charles put his hand on Isaiah's shoulder, no words, just presence. That was their language, and we understood it. Because we've all wanted a friend like that. Someone who stands by you. Not because it helps them, but because it's you, and that's why their friendship still moves us. Because it wasn't perfect. It wasn't loud, but it was steady, like a rock, like a promise. And in a world where people come and go, that means everything. Now, let's remember one of their most powerful scenes. In Little House, when Mr. Edwards saves Nellie from a runaway wagon. Charles runs in, sees what happened, and without a word, just puts his hand on Victor's shoulder. No music, no speech, just that touch, and it says everything. It's not about the hero moment, it's about two men saying, "I see you, I'm here." And in Highway to Heaven, when everyone doubts Jonathan, Mark stands by him and says, "I don't care what they say, I know you." Again, not just acting. It was truth, because Victor did that for Michael, again and again, and Michael returned it by giving Victor a second chance, by making him a star, by standing by him, all the way to the end. Today, fans still talk about them, not just as co-stars, but as examples. One woman wrote, "My dad used to show me their scenes when I was sad. He said, 'That's what real friendship looks like.' Another said, 'I lost my best friend.' Watching them together, it reminded me that love like that exists. And that's the legacy. Because their bond wasn't just personal, it became ours. We saw in them what we hoped to be. Loyal, true, present, and willing to stand by someone, not for applause, but because it's right." So the next time you see Charles and Mr. Edwards walking side by side across the prairie, or Jonathan and Mark driving down the highway in that old police car, don't just see actors. See two men who lived a friendship most of us only dream of. One built on respect, on honesty, on showing up, no matter what. Michael Landon and Victor French. Not just stars, not just colleagues, but brothers. In life, in work, in memory, and in the hearts of everyone who believes that the greatest gift in life is a true friend. And they had it, and they shared it, and were better for having seen it.